everyone, welcome to Vedantu NEET English. I'm Diksha Kaushal, your chemistry master teacher. I hope you all are doing good and very happy new year to all of you. So guys, before starting the preparation or doing the preparation, you have to understand what are the topics that have been deleted in the new syllabus but they are still important to you, and what are the topics that are not deleted but that are not important to you, right? So after analyzing the whole syllabus and comparison of old syllabus and the new syllabus, I have come up with few tips for you, and I have detailed description of which topics are not there in the syllabus and what are the topics that are not there in the syllabus but you still have to do those topics. So let us jump one by one in detail of every chapter. So first chapter is some basic concepts of chemistry. So let us understand this. So some basic concepts of chemistry, as you can see, there is just one thing that has been deleted. That is general introduction, importance and scope of chemistry. So now this thing have been deleted, but still this thing had never been asked in any exam. So you don't need to say that they have changed the syllabus. It's just that this thing was also never important. So the syllabus, the chapter for you is still the same. You have to prepare the chapter as you used to prepare the chapter before. Now the concentration terms have not written here, but in solution, you have to study concentration terms. So in this also you have to study concentration terms. This is just a merged topic. So you have to study concentration term whether here or there. That doesn't matter, right? Okay, so next we have structure of atom. Structure of atom, you'll see that this part, you'll see some of the topics have been added in structure of atom. Actually, they are not added in structure of atom. We used to study them before also, but now they have focused more on these topics. Like they have focused on quantum mechanics more. They have properly elaborated this quantum mechanics. So you have to study quantum mechanics in detail, right? Okay, so next is chemical bonding. There is no acid change in chemical bonding. This is a very important chapter of inorganic chemistry. They have put it in physical chemistry, but actually this is a chapter of inorganic chemistry and you have to study this chapter as you study this before, right? Okay, there is no change. It is just an elaborated version of that syllabus. No thing is added, nothing has been deleted here, right? Okay, next is chemical thermodynamics. Now, let us see what have been removed from this chapter. So, there is third law of thermodynamics that have been removed from this chapter. But actually, before also, we just have a brief introduction of this thing. So, it doesn't matter if that has also been removed from this chapter. So, your content is exactly the same for thermodynamics as well, right? Now, you have solutions. For solutions, as you can see, this was the part before and this is the new syllabus. This is exactly the same. This is exactly the same. Nothing has been added or removed from this, right? Nothing has been added or removed from this. It's just the chemical, it's just the concentration terms. Just wait. It's just the concentration terms. As you can see, they have elaborated this molarity, and then percentage, mole fraction. Some students will say, ma'am, they have not written normality here. Should we study that or not? Though it is not written here, but you still have to study normality because that is a very important concentration term. You have application of normality in all your physical chemistry. So you have to study normality also. Even though it is not mentioned, you have to study normality, right? Okay, you cannot skip such topics. So now here comes equilibrium. As you can see, this is the equilibrium, right? You will find that, okay, ma'am, something has been added here, but it is still the same. The chemical equilibrium, ionic equilibrium, all the equation, everything, all the laws, you have to study all the things in the similar manner that you used to study, okay? Now is the redox reaction and electrochemistry. So redox reaction and electrochemistry, they have merged these two chapters, redox reaction and electrochemistry. Because redox reaction is actually the basis, the foundation of electrochemistry. So they have merged these two chapters into one. And now the topics are exactly the same. There is no change here. There is no change here, right? Okay. So you don't need to get that much confused in all these things. Next is chemical kinetics. Again, the syllabus is same. There is no change in chemical kinetics, right? Then there comes chemical classification of elements, that is periodicity. Now, this forms the foundation. As you all know, they have deleted inorganic, like they have deleted hydrogen, they have deleted surface chemistry, they have deleted S block. There are so many things that have been deleted from inorganic. There are just few chapters that are left, right? So these few chapters are very important for you, including chemical bonding. That is very, very important for you. So you cannot even imagine to risk your paper by skipping any of the topic, right? So let us see classification of periodic table. This is exactly the same. They have just removed that Mendeleev and all the history of periodic table. They have removed the history of periodic table, but still it's a very small history. A question has never been asked from history of periodic table, how it was formed. They have never asked this question before also. So even if that is removed, for you the important things still are the same, right? Okay. So now next is P block. Now this is something that all the students are confused about. Ma'am, we have no idea whether to study compounds or not, whether to study all these allotropes or not. So let's see. I'll advise you, it's an advice from my side. They have already deleted inorganic, like they have deleted such a big amount of inorganic. This is the most scoring chapter of inorganic, P block. If you are thinking of skipping all these things, though these things have been removed, they have not mentioned these things. The things that I have mentioned in red color, they have not mentioned these things in the new syllabus. They have just mentioned that you need to do 13 to 18 group, you need to do the electronic configuration, general trends, physical and chemical properties. Then you have to do the unique behavior of first element. That's it, nothing else. But still, I would advise you, please just go through these compounds, at least the structure of these compounds, because these structures can be asked in chemical bonding as well, right? So you have to go through structures. Is a definite thing that you have to study the structure of all these compounds, even if they are removed from your syllabus, even though you have to understand the structure, because that is included in the chemical bonding itself. In chemical bonding, you study the structures, right? So you have to do the structure of all these compounds, and you need to go through a quick revision on all these things. A quick revision before the exam, at least a quick revision of all these compounds is must. This is my advice to you, because I want you to score 720. I don't want you to risk your exam because of these things, because this is the very major part of of inorganic chemistry, and the division of inorganic, organic and physical is same. So how will they ask the questions? From where will they ask the questions? Chemical periodicity and classification. There's no as such big questions from that chapter. So okay, so you need to focus on this chapter as well. You need to read the P block NCERT, the old NCERT of 11th class and 12th class, right? Okay, so that is my advice to you. Now next is DNF block. Let us understand that they have just deleted one thing from DNF block, that is comparison with lanthanoids. The comparison of actinoids with the lanthanoids, they have just deleted this part. Everything else is still the same, right? Okay. Next is coordination compound, a very important chapter of coordination chemistry. As I told you, they have deleted most of the inorganic part. So chemical bonding and P block and coordination chemistry, they become the most important chapters, right? So this is the most important chapter of very important chapter of inorganic chemistry. So they have not as such included or deleted anything from this chapter. It is still the same, right? So next is purification of organic compounds. We have completed physical, we have completed inorganic. Let us jump to organic chemistry. Organic chemistry, first part is purification of organic compound, right? You will see, oh ma'am, have they added something? There is no addition as such. They have just elaborated these things. You have to study crystallization, sublimation, distillation, differential extraction, all of these things in detail. In detail, you have to study all these things. Then qualitative analysis, quantitative analysis. Now, this is also very important because this is also asked In practical chemistry, they have added a new thing, that is practical chemistry. They have also mentioned these topics in practical chemistry as well, right? Okay, so now next is some basic concepts of chemistry. As you know, we have studied this. This is GOC, General Organic Chemistry. If you don't do this, if you skip this chapter, you won't be able to organic chemistry. I know that. That's not possible to skip this chapter and do organic chemistry. So from this chapter, electronic displacement effect, everything is still the same. As you can see, this is the new syllabus. Everything is same as we used to study before. So now, I'll tell you one thing. They have mentioned here optical isomerism. Wait, let me see where they have mentioned isomerism. Just give me a minute. Yes, this is stereoisomerism. As you can see, they have mentioned stereoisomerism here. So stereoisomerism, if you say DL configuration, RF configuration, they have not mentioned DL configuration separately. But DL configuration, RF configuration, all these are the parts of stereoisomerism itself. Okay, they have not mentioned that and that separately, but that is a part of this thing only, right? So that is also very important. You can never skip RL, RS and DL configuration, right? Students usually skip that because they think that it is not included in the syllabus map. But stereoisomerism means all those things, right? Okay. So this was the old syllabus of hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons is still the same. Still, everything is same here. Everything is same here, right? They have included everything is same. Why I have marked this polymerization? As you all know, they have deleted the chapter polymers from your syllabus. But now this is the topic polymerization. Okay, so do a thing while studying. When you are studying polymerization, just study few of the polymers in detail, just few topics in detail. That's it. I'm not asking you to study polymers in detail. I'm just saying the reaction of polymerization, how polymers are formed, how few polymers, few important that are mentioned in previous year question. You just need to study those few polymers, okay, that are from alkynes or alkenes. Just study those polymers. That's it. Now, next is organic compounds containing halogens. Now, this chapter, they have removed just one thing, that is dichloromethane, trichloromethane and optical rotation. Now, what you will see, this optical rotation means optical isomerism, and optical isomerism means stereoisomerism. So, this is not actually deleted. This is actually a part of stereoisomerism. So, do not skip this thing, right? And then there is trichloromethane. You can easily skip this. That is not mentioned in the new syllabus. It is just the application. You can also study that or skip that. It's just one paragraph. Totally your choice. Okay. Next is organic compounds containing halogens. Yeah, that was the new syllabus. Wait. That was the new syllabus. Okay, I have mentioned the new syllabus 2 times. My mistake. Now, organic compounds containing oxygen. Let us see, there are 2 parts to it, very, very important chapters: alcohol, phenols, ether, and aldehyde, ketones, and carboxylic acid. There are so many naming reactions in this. All the naming reactions, the conversions are important to you. So do not skip this chapter. Do not skip even a single topic, even if that is not mentioned in your syllabus. Everything here is the same. Everything here is exactly the same. You have to study everything of these 2 chapters that are mentioned in your NCERT and previous year question like you used to study previously. Right? Okay. Next is organic compounds containing nitrogen. They are talking about amines. Right? Okay. So what has been deleted? Cyanides and isocyanides will be mentioned at relevant places. Only this thing has been skipped in the new syllabus. And that doesn't matter to us. Either ways, we have to study cyanides and isocyanides. Just a little part of it. Okay. Everything else is still the same. Right. They have basically what they have done. They have just merged few topics from one chapter to another chapter. Right. Okay. So then there comes biomolecules. From biomolecules, there is something that has been removed, that are polysaccharides. So you just need to study polysaccharides, just a bit of it. Starch, cellulose and glycogen, they have been removed from your syllabus. Just give it a reading and that's it. You don't need to study it in detail. Okay, just have a read of the structures. That's it. Okay, you can even skip this. That has been removed from your syllabus, right? Everything else is exactly the same, but they have added few things, that is biological function of nucleic acid. You have to know the biological function of the nucleic acid that was not included before. So students used to skip it and some students used to do it. So that is, you have to do this because this is specially mentioned in your new syllabus. So this becomes automatically important to you, right? Next are something that has been added in your syllabus. Now, this is something which for 2024 NEET, this particular slide is very important. What is the reason behind that? Because they have added few things. They have specially mentioned few things. Right? Okay. So let us see what are these things. So that is the detection of extra elements. We have done it earlier also, right? And the detection of falling functional groups, we have done it in the alcohol, phenol, ether, carboxylic acid. You must have done all these topics in your theory related topics also, right? So this is just a repetition. These two things are just a repetition. Now let us see the chemistry involved in the preparation of polymer. The chemistry involved here. So this becomes very important. These salts have been mentioned, Mohr salt and potash, they have been mentioned. Inorganic compounds, what is the chemistry, how they are prepared, the chemistry involved, the chemical reaction involved, everything, right? And there comes organic compounds. These are the organic compounds. You need to know the preparation method of these organic compounds, right? This all things are this practical chemistry. Now we don't know from where we should do practical chemistry. All these things have been mentioned in your lab manual, and just give me 1 week or two, or I'll straight away I'll tell you from where you should do these topics. I want you guys firstly to just go through the lab manuals. I'll give you 1 week. Just go through the lab manuals. They're mentioned in your lab manuals. Okay, there are experiments. They are mentioned in your lab manuals. Just go through that and see if you're able to find these topics. Right? They are mentioned in your lab manual as it is. Right? Okay. So next is the chemistry involved in the tiometric exercises. Okay, they have been mentioned. They have mentioned especially two things, that is oxalic acid versus KMnO4 and Mohr salt versus KMnO4. They have mentioned these two topics, right? So for this, you need to know the theory of these things. What are the chemical reaction involved? What is the indicator? Everything about these things, right? Okay, next is chemical principle involved in qualitative salt analysis. These are the cation and these are the anions, right? This is the topic of practical chemistry. As you all know, practical chemistry, you must have studied these topics. Now, they will ask these questions in NEET exams also, right? That is the spark, right? Next is chemical principle involved in the following experiments. So this is basically a topic of physical chemistry, enthalpy of solution of CuSO4, enthalpy of neutralization, preparation of lyophilic and lyophobic. Now understand this thing. They have removed surface chemistry from your syllabus, but they have specially mentioned lyophilic and lyophobic salts. Right? Okay. So you must do the theory of these two salts from your surface chemistry topic in detail. Right? Okay. Next is kinetic study of reaction of iodine ions with hydrogen peroxide at room temperature. So all these topics are mentioned in your practical chemistry. I'll surely make a detailed video of from where to do your practical chemistry topics and from your lab manual itself. Okay. Don't worry about that. You can leave that on me. Next is these topics have been deleted. So let us see the topics that are actually deleted from your syllabus, but still I am advising you to do those topics. Let us see what is my advice for you. So first is states of matter. So in states of matter, I am saying skip everything. This chapter has been totally removed from your syllabus. But just for me, just my advice is that do one thing. You must know what is the ideal gas equation. What is Boyle's law, Charles' law, Gay-Lussac's law, Avogadro's law. That's it. That's it. Because you will find usage of these things in some basic concepts of chemistry. You will find these things, right? So just do one thing. Just the things that I mentioned, green, right? Just do those things. Just do those laws. That's it. It will hardly take 10 minutes to do these things. Hardly 10 minutes, right? Okay. So now, next is hydrogen. Just skip the chapter. It has been deleted from your syllabus. Just skip this chapter. Next is sex block elements. Skip everything from this chapter. Everything is deleted. Okay, congratulations. Now solid state, everything, skip everything. It has been deleted. Next is surface chemistry. As I told you, Leophilic and leophobic salts have been specially mentioned in your syllabus, right? Okay, so do these two things from surface chemistry in detail. That's it, right? Next is general principle of isolation, completely removed from your syllabus. Polymers, just do one thing. You must know the polymers that are derived from alkenes. That's it. Also because they have been mentioned, they have mentioned polymerization in hydrocarbons. That's why I'm asking you to do polymerization where alkenes are involved. That's it. Okay. Now, next is chemistry in everyday life. You can skip this chapter, but if you don't want to take any risk, like you want to score 720 out of 720, and you have revised your syllabus, you have hold over your syllabus, you have revised your syllabus 5-6 times, and you know that you will score 720 out of 720, but you don't want to take any risk because chemistry in everyday life, these things have some theory based questions that can be asked because these things are totally directly related to your medical exams, right? So that's why you can give it a read or you can skip this. One question hardly can be asked if we are considering the risk factor. If you want to be the topper, right? You can read this chapter. If you want to be the topper, right? This can be asked, this cannot be asked. There are just few chances of this, right? Okay. For me, you can skip this for now. You don't need to take any load of these. Just remember the topics that have not been deleted from your syllabus. You need to do those topics religiously, right? As I told you, just focus, focus and focus. That's it. Be consistent, be disciplined, attend the lectures daily, do practice, do NCERT questions, do the previous year questions as much as you can and revise these things. Make your notes, make your short notes, make formula sheets, do everything that is possible and achieve your dream. In this year, I want to see you achieving your dream and calling me, okay ma'am, I have dreamt of this and now I am here. I am here in my dream college, right? I want you. And if you also feel that you will achieve that, write in the comment section that ma'am, I will do that. I will surely crack I'll surely crack NEET in this 2024 session and then I will be in my dream college in 2024. I want to see you there. Okay then, bye-bye, take care.